My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is August 7th, 2026. It is exactly 4 a.m. This is what, the third recording, so I'm just continuing. Let's go on X. So this is the first tweet. This is so true. William Parker Bowles was always jealous of Prince Harry. In toxic family system, all trouble can be traced to a single dominant individual leading the abusive campaign, and it's not the scapegoat. Say no more. For a brother. That was a retweet, so let's go into it. There's no comment. Oh, it was from here. It started here. Okay, William bullied Harry and Meghan out of the family. William physically attacked his younger brother. Kate fabricated stories about Meghan and fed them to the toxic media. William and Kate cannot contain their jealousy of Harry and Meghan. Nobody is asking for William and Kate's help. They have already single-handedly done enough damage to the monarchy and will be the final nail in the coffin. Wow. Prince William pushed aside amid King Charles and Prince Harry's reconciliation is bewildering. That was August 4th, 2026. Oh, there's more comment under it. I don't know. He keeps on banging his head on the wall, expecting different result. Pushing Peggy aside was the only way to stop the leaks, not all the bewildering. Is that an ad? Charles is foolish for betting on Willie the bully. Well, he has to because due to hierarchy. That's all. But the thing is that because William and Harry are Charles' son, so the nonsense they put on Charles' head. Okay, he should have treated both kids the same way. But when it comes to the business, which is the firm, then that's a different story. But as a family, this is why Harry keep on saying to separate the two. The firm and the family. He said he wanted a family.
Chance my arm with a cheeky question. A bit like your mother, you are pursued every minute of every day by lots of people trying to take photographs, videoing, recording what you're saying, pushing. How can you possibly have a private life?
Cheeky question. You're right, that is a cheeky question. But Andrew, to be honest with you, sadly, that line between public and private life is almost non-existent anymore, and we will continue to do our best to ensure that there is the line. You know, we are completely aware that we're in a very privileged position, and I will spend the rest of my life, earning that privilege and trying to bring a spotlight onto things and causes that really matter to me, and I hopefully matter to a lot of other people as well. Everyone has a right to their privacy, and a lot of the members of the public get it, but sadly in some areas there is this sort of incessant need to find out every little bit of detail about what goes on behind the scenes. It's unnecessary. I hope that people get to see me here in this Invictus role, cracking on with the guys and mucking in and having a good time with them. And this is half my official role, but half my private role. This is what I enjoy doing, but the private life has to be private, and I hope people respect that.
The firm and the family. He said he wanted a family. But it seems like the palace cannot distinguish the both. Alright, every parent who have several children love them all and spend time with each. Apparently those losers from UK want to tell us that it's not possible in the royal family. Harry can, because Harry saw it, and Harry is the youngest of Charles' kids, and he understands that. But Charles, it's people who put nonsense in Charles' head.
Your relationship with your father? Is he taking your calls now?
Yeah. He is. There's a lot to work through there. You know, I feel really let down because he's been through something similar. He knows what pain feels like. My father and my brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave. And I have huge compassion for that.
He's afraid of them. Instead of taking his kid's side, he's not. I agree. I dread to think what kind of a king he will be. Everything is all about him, and he is eating up with his own entitlement, supremacy, and arrogance. I hope whoever is prime minister when the time comes can rein him in and talk him down. Okay, who the F is bewildered. This never-ending inane drama is because those two grifters don't work and have zero purpose in life. So, well, their purpose is to be king. All right, they just want to point finger, do this, do that. But can they do them themselves if those people are not around? I don't think so. All right, so they have way too much time to focus on grievance and trolling the internet. Unreal. That is true. There's nothing bewildering about it. William has defamed Harry and Meghan through his tabloid connection. William, at the same time, it exposes him. Okay, he went on and on and on with the tabloid to defame Harry and Meghan, but at the end, well, we're still in the process, people are seeing him for who he is, and it's exposing him and the papers at the same time. William and Kate hate being outshined by the Sussexes and everything they do. Kate should not have that type of mentality at all, because she was raised outside of the palace. Okay, and then the time that she had to get some skills, she didn't do it. So this thing, she's over her head. William is like Donald Trump. They both do not ease up on their hatred and revengeful tendencies. Their narcissistic tendencies don't seem to let anything go. They both have so much wealth but live miserable lives. Well, the U.S. is working its way. The people of the United States, including my guys, they're starting to see the light. In the past, I have said, in order for them to understand it, they have to feel it. We didn't have to go in that route, okay, of feeling it. We did not have to go in that route, because there have been so many examples in front of my guys to say, oh, we should not go this way. But no, their hatred, their what do you call this, hatred and racist mindset said, yeah, we have to go that way. So like I've said, as much as I truly hate the way the United States is moving, but it needed to go that way, because too many people have put their blinders on, because African American have been the one pushing for things to be done the right way. So this time around, because the election of 2024 was too clear for everybody to see, too clear. It could not be any clearer than any clearer can ever be. You have someone who was in office before, the destruction that he created in the country. But these people saw he was the best to be president again. So we had to go that way for them to feel it. Okay, now they are feeling it. In the past, I've said some of the red states, how poor they are, and in past videos, could have been way before the 2024 election. Okay, I used to talk about in the South, you know, how the the blue states was helping the red states. Okay, blue is Democrat, the President Obama's party. Was helping the red states, which is Donald Trump's party, okay, the Republican. So they were at ease all the time. Food stamp, medical, they got at ease. Even some of their energy used to be in, how do you call this? Like rebate or something like that. They used to get at a discount. So the moment Trump get in office, okay, those things were cut. Now they're crying foul. They lose their medical, and they used to point these things that those white people, especially in and the South are going through. They used to point it at African American. They're the one who's on welfare. They're the one who's this. They're the one who's that. But they're all over the internet now crying because they don't have the food stamp, the subsidies that the government used to give them. They used to tell African American were the one who used to get those things. All right, the truth have to come out eventually. So now they're feeling it. The country did not have to go that way, but here we are. Because if Kamala Harris had been in office, it would have been the same thing when President Obama was in office for 2.5 terms. Okay, why I said 2.5 terms? In his first term, the first half, okay, which was you had the Senate and the House and the presidency was controlled by Democrats, okay, who want progress. So now the reverse have happened. In the first half, we were able to get medical, ACA, Obamacare. Same thing, but they just name it differently to confuse the MAGAs, and they fall for it. Okay, so the first half, the country was moving forward. Now the second half of his first term, President Obama's first term, the Tea Parties took over, and then they stopped President Obama from passing anything that will make the country move forward. And this is where we are now. We had a pause with Biden. The country was moving forward. Now Trump got in office. We going way back. Way back. So many families have to start all over again. And there's some who's not even gonna start all over because he eliminated them. Those soldiers who died. Illegal wars. Okay, all of this, we didn't have to go through it. So those MAGAs, I don't know what else can they do for them to see the light. They don't like socialism. Here goes America. I'm saying America. Yes, it's in America, but New York with the mayor, things is happening. Occasionally, I'm putting videos of regular citizen who has issues with things that going on in their neighborhood, and they tag the mayor. Next thing you know, they fix the problem. This is what socialism is. And the Republican, the MAGAs, okay, turn socialism into a negative. Again, Haiti, pay attention to that. Anything that's good, those people who wants to benefit from it, turn it into a negative. So people could reject it. Meanwhile, the rejection is hurting regular people. And these business people on top wants to privatize all of those things the government had created so they could take it for themselves. That's what's happening right now. Everything in the United States is going to be privatized if we don't put a stop to it. So this presidency had to show the people. When we talk about it in theory, people don't believe it. They don't like to think ahead, analyze things, how things outcome can be. They do not want to do the thinking. They just listen to those idiots telling them nice words, how, well, they're not nice words, but some of the thing is to hurt each other. Okay, they vote against that. So now it backfired. It boomerang back to them. Now they're feeling it. So it needed to be done for them to actually see it and feel it. And hopefully when they go in the voting booth, they could vote the right way. All right. During the campaign, 2024 election campaign, they're saying, what is it? Kamala Harris doesn't have a plan. Go back to some of my old videos where I talk about it. She's explaining things that she wants to do. And Mark Cuban, who the first term of President, not Obama, Trump, he supported Trump. I forgive him for this because, you know, he's a business person and he's looking for his best interest. But after the first term of Trump and he saw the type of person that he is, he's not really doing things to really move the country forward and also help businesses. If you're not giving him money, he will not help you. This is not how our countries will work. So Mark Cuban distanced himself. I don't know about now because the other day I heard him talking about something. So his focus is in business. But when it comes to the campaign leading up to the 24 election. He did his part as a citizen of the United States, explaining to people that the thing that Trump was saying is not good for the country. He supported him the first time, but the second time he said no, he's not supporting him. But they put Trump back in, so he's probably shuffling to see where he could benefit from it as a business person. Because I saw him talking recently. I don't remember what it was. I didn't watch it, but it was something. So those MAGAs had to feel it. The country had to go through what we are going through. And hopefully now when they go to the voting booth, they vote the right way. Okay? Since President Obama's first term, the second half, the Senate lost, the Democratic Party lost some seats. I think they still remain control of the Senate, but they lost supermajority of the Senate. And for the House, I think they lost the House. So the balance, the advantage that they had the first part of the first term of President Obama was no longer there. And they never recovered after that, even though President Obama won the second term. But when he first ran, the first half of his first term, where he controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency, was in Democratic control, they were able to pass the ACA. But after the midterm, 2010, they lost control. Well, they didn't lose control. They lost supermajority of the Senate, which prevent them from moving forward. What's this guy? They can't even see him. They don't even know if he's alive now. What's his name? Mitch McConnell was blocking him. And they block Obama ever since. It's a no, no, no. Anything that Obama proposed to move the country forward, they block it. All right? And now you see why they blocked it. They didn't want the country to move forward. All right? So I could go on and on. So I read this. You could pause and read it. So this is me here. Okay. Did I read it? No. Forget what Martha Stewart allegedly said. The big issue for me is the press trying to silence Meghan. They want to control how, when, and where she can speak. No one knows what was said, but as usual, they add their own context and filler her for it. Okay. I should have put the other one first. What Martha Stewart. I have it on the list. But when I respond to this, I didn't see whatever she had said. All right, foot soldiers doing their footing. I realize people don't get TV without selling their soul despite having skills. Her time is almost up because she's old. One last thing she had to do to pay back for her dues. Harry and Meghan didn't have to sell their souls to make it this high. So the devil is upset. Those who have must, target her. Okay. Let me explain what I'm saying here. There's so much I want to say when I'm typing. It will take several tweets to finish my thought. What I realized, even though some people have real skills to do the things that they are doing on TV, but it seems like there's a give and take that goes on into these things. You stand in front of on TV like Martha Stewart, who used to do things, showing her cooking skills and whatnot. In my humble opinion, I don't know what the deal was. But it seems like there was a give and take going on. So now that whoever she made the deal with to get that spot, even though she had the skills, but she had to do some extra, give up some extra. So they probably said, I want you to speak on behalf of this. Okay, so now whatever she said about Meghan is the thing she paid back. What I mean by her time is almost up. She's what, 80 something? Time is almost up. So that's that. Martha Stewart is 85. Okay, so 85 years old and famous. She is not new to this. There was no reason whatsoever for her to put herself and Meghan in this position unless she wanted to. Again, the devil wanted her to say it. Because whatever she had gotten when she was on TV, maybe there was an exchange that went up. Okay? There probably was an exchange. So now they're asking her okay, where people will see her as respectable, but then again, she went to prison for insider trading, so I don't know how other people will see it. But her age, maybe people who have more respect for her or something like that. So they ask her, whoever she made the deal with, and go speak against Meghan. But people have known the way the media works, because because Sussex Squad have revealed how the papers have done to trash Meghan. So we know what's going on, at least for me. Okay, I'm not speaking for everybody. So did I finish with it? Martha Stewart is 85 years old and famous. She is not new to this. There was no reason whatsoever for her to put herself and Meghan in this position unless she wanted to. 100%, but the press is presenting it like Meghan has no right to speak about her own existence. No one knows the context of the conversation, yet they're trying to deny her right to exist like anyone else. And all this had to come, with what I say here. Harry and Meghan then have to sell their soul to make it this high. Okay? They didn't have to do anything, to give up anything from their core values, to be able to be on Netflix, to be able to open her shop as ever and still selling out. They're upset with that. Harry and Meghan kept their integrity. This is what's bothering them. They wanted a piece of what they making, and Harry and Meghan is earning everything themselves because they didn't sell their soul. I truly believe that. All right, but others who made it big, who knows? Maybe as part of that too. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking on top of my head. Who make it in front of a television, making money, who have sold their soul. So when they didn't sell their soul and they make it that big without permission of these people, they are upset about it. Okay, next tweet. Okay, so this is, I guess, what Martha Stewart have said. I'll read it so I know what's going on. Everything that I put on my list, I don't usually read them first, with the exception of some of the caption, so I know what I need to share with you. So I have a little context. All right, Martha Stewart's story is being debunked by the Mirror, but she never said that Meghan was talking about King Charles. It is the British media that weren't at the dinner who are saying that, and her story doesn't add up. I wish that she kept her mouth shut. Martha, I didn't really talk to her more than to say a couple of words, but I know she was talking about it. If you didn't really talk to her, how the F do you know what she was talking about? According to the Mirror, someone asked Meghan about her European vacation, and she said it was nice. That was the end of it. I hope that celebrity in the US think twice before inviting Martha to their private dinner or party. All right, let's see here. Okay, speaking to People magazine, Stewart85 said, quote, I had dinner with Meghan Markle the other night. We were both guests at a dinner party in California, and she had just gotten back from the palace. From the palace. I didn't talk to her really more than to say a couple of words, but I know she was talking about it. End quote. An insider told the Mirror that Meghan and Stewart did not sit together at the dinner and claimed the Duchess did not speak about the UK visit. They added, quote, Meghan was asked by someone else about her European vacation and said it was nice, and that was the extent of it. I think she must have been confused but are fans of good old Martha. The Sussexes have been estranged from the royals after Harry criticized his father, stepmother Camilla, brother the King of Wales, and sister-in-law Kate in his Oprah interview, Netflix documentary interviews, and his autobiography Spare, after stepping down from the working monarchy 6 years. Okay, and Newsweek debunked the story too. Okay, I hope that celebrities in the US think twice before inviting Martha to their private dinner or parties. Pretty much, okay, you see how Meghan was able to stay out of the tabloid in the US? Because she doesn't go to those parties. But let them show themselves, okay? I will say these people show themselves so Meghan could see. This is what those prayers that I keep on saying about. That's the indigenous people did for Meghan in Canada, Australia, Nigeria, Columbia, those prayers that they did for Harry and Meghan. So, which means what I'm thinking right now, okay? I'm thinking on top of my head. So there's a next, I think the plan for Meghan, each step, their typical blueprint, okay, the palace, they have torn it at Harry and Meghan already. So it's not working. So probably there's a new one that's coming. They're inventing a new one to destroy them. So now they're showing themselves little at a time. What Martha have just said here. So Meghan, people, anyone who have held high position in public and entertainment and whatnot, just be careful with them. Because they must have done something. Because even though they have skills, they must have done something in exchange to get the spot that they got to be in the public eye. So just be careful. Harry and Meghan knows it. If they want to create their own magazine, well, they have Sussex.com. Is it Sussex.com? Was there? They have Archwell, and I think they have Sussex.com or something like that. Is it? Sometime where they write their thing. So people already know where to go if they want to know what Harry and Meghan have done. So just Harry and Meghan don't have to sell their soul to be anywhere. All right, they make the deal with Netflix, and I've said before, and I'm still convinced by this. At some point, if Harry and Meghan wants to do things, they have to create not only their own network, their own network, like the Oprah network. Now I know 95% of it is not owned by Oprah. It's by is it Warner Brothers or something? 95. Not too long ago, I was searching it. You could go and search it. So Oprah only owned 5% of it. Okay? So they're already buying her out. So if Harry and Meghan wants to show like her documentaries or something like that, at some point, whoever's the CEO of Netflix may not be there anymore. So at one point, Meghan needs to create her own. So she could display any movies that she's helped support to show it on her own network. Let's see here. Exactly. This obsession with all... Oh, I didn't finish the thought. So what is happening here? They're starting to reveal themselves. People who had great respect by the public, Meghan and Harry should be careful. And I think they know it. The bubble that they create for themselves, the people who have been with Harry and Meghan from the beginning, despite the pressure the media have put on them, and they remain true before Meghan met Harry. Okay, these are the people I think Meghan should remain close to. But anyone else, just be careful, because they'll give it up in a second. All right. What is it? Exactly. This obsession with all things Meghan and then criticizing her should be in the diagnostic and statistically manual of mental disorders. It's like a drugs. Oh my God, I'm laughing about that. That is not diagnostic and statistical manual of the mental disorder. When it comes to those mental health, it's not funny, but the thing that these people are displaying is really, it needs to be studied. There's one comment in it. Okay, I don't see it. All right, let me put a like to it. Okay, Martha Stewart, cloud chasing, using Meghan's good name. You see, I told you, she went to jail for insider trading. The felon knew exactly what she was doing, dropped Meghan's name, tell a lie to the British racist media, and the trolls can continue their hate campaign against Meghan. It's a rinse and repeat. Yes, she knew. All right, check Newsweek article. It is debunked. Okay, all right, let's move on. All right, so this is their next thing here. Those foot soldiers, all right? People who have done some sort of exchange in the past, now they need them because they can't get to Meghan and Harry. All right, their plan is not planning right now. So those prayers need to continue for Harry and Meghan. Now they're using people that who somehow did some exchange in the past, and now they need to pay up. Their pay up is to maybe some people that the public had respect for, regard them high above. Okay, so they're calling on them to start talking negative about Harry and Meghan. This is what's happening here, in my humble opinion. And this thing is global. Okay, it's global. Right now, it's shift to the United States. Okay, if let's say they need one of their foot soldiers in another country, let's say somewhere in Europe, they'll call in their foot soldiers, someone who have done some sort of exchange in the past to make it big. So they will call on them. And if they need someone, let's say maybe Australia or Spain or anywhere around the world that they have their foot soldiers, someone who wanted to make it big so badly, they did that exchange. So when they need them, they will call on them and said, look, I want you to do this. If you don't do this, then they'll, I don't know, hurt them in some shape or form, or remove all their wealth, whatever they had gained from being to be popular or something. I'm just saying, because these things are not normal. What we are seeing here is not normal. Those people own everything, the radio, the TVs, and whatnot. So now some foot soldiers that may deal with them in the past, they're calling on them to pay up, for whatever things that they need them from, need them to do for. I said devil, but whoever they make some exchange with, who own those, I don't know, those TVs and network, whatnot. All right, I wish Megan.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.